So it seems that people are confused as to why Aventurine actually wanted to die. Where does he actually physically want to go? And why is Gallagher killing everybody? What is the end game here? And what do they talk about when they mean to get to the other side? The other side of the dreamscape. What are they referring to? Because the game is pretty vague in how they explain this, but essentially the real Penacony is under Dreamscape. And that's where the Watchmaker's legacy actually is. The Penacony we experience is like a bubble created by the family. It's like an artificial hub dreamscape. When people die in the dreamscape, they don't die in real life, but go to the other side, or the real Penacony. Aventurine succeeded, and is Mikhail, the Watchmaker, actually dead, or is this a farce? We know the Watchmaker had many children, one of them which is Gallagher, who claimed that his age was 13 years old. Mikhail is allegedly dead in a place where no one can find him. Is that where everyone's trying to go? Even Sunday mentioned something along these lines. We know that after he died, somebody inherited the title of Watchmaker and has been working against the family. This has been confirmed in the Trailblaze mission, A Cat Among Pigeons. And anyone that gets close to the truth is met with this monster. It always appears when someone's close to figuring it out. And I don't know why, but this is just a theory. I think Sparkle might actually be trying to help Sunday, and they might be planning something. I don't think Sunday's dead by any means, because we know the Firefly's not dead, and she got impaled the same way. It seems that everybody's trying to reach the true Watchmaker's legacy and the true dreamscape, and Sunday sort of hints towards this exactly. Even back in 2.0, but we didn't realize it.
Alright. Just putting it out there. If you're ever in a pinch, remember, I've got your back. I mean, who could resist a guy rocking spikes on his wings?
Causing the malevolence the perpetrator spreads to befall them. And when that time comes, the heathen will realize they're but a mere mortal, doomed to descend into the netherworld. And I will join their vanguard to announce this good news to you personally, Watchmaker.
And now that we know that you actually have to die in the dreamscape to reach the other side, it gives so much more meaning to what he's saying. That he's going to join the vanguard personally to the Watchmaker. Does he know how to get there already, or did Sparkle help him? It's hard to say, but Aventurine wasn't totally sure, which is why Jade and Topaz were totally impressed that he went to such lengths to find out, risking his life to potentially die in the dream world, to actually reach it through Acheron. By getting himself killed by Acheron and staging that whole conflict, baiting Acheron and the Trailblazers to confront him so he could ultimately reach the other side. We also seen that Sam, who we know as Firefly, tried to do the same thing and bait Acheron, but it did not work. Acheron only figures this out once Aventurine actually pulls off his scheme and kinda congratulates him on it. At the same time, Acheron frees him from the family's control of the Harmony and simultaneously gets him off the IPC radar. The reason Sam failed 11 times is probably due to Elio's script. Elio can predict the future, so for whatever reason, Sam was destined to fail. Also, on an unrelated note, the first time Firefly got nabbed by this monster, look, you can actually see she's about to transform into Sam, but then realizes, probably shouldn't right now. But that is a kind of cool little detail that makes so much more sense now. We won't know till 2.2 drops whether the family is the true villain here or it's Gallagher, but Gallagher definitely is related to the Watchmaker in some way or form. He has infiltrated the family by taking body parts and characteristics from each of the different family members, as Sunday calls him out at the end of the quest. Gallagher also did state that he was 13 and nobody seems to recognize or know who he is, except for Misha, which I do believe they are related as well. So does this mean that the people that Gallagher killed are on the other side now? Did they reach the true dreamscape? Well, it's hard to say. Firefly was impaled the same way Sunday was at the end of the quest, with the dream monster of Gallagher. Yet Firefly was still alive as Sam to confront Acheron at the end of 2.0. So whether Robin and Sunday are actually on the other side or legitimately dead, it's hard to say. But the fact that Firefly is still alive makes me believe that at least Sunday probably isn't. Robin, however, might be a different story, as Gallagher physically killed her herself, as you can see the pink claw marks, and he uses pink claws in his gameplay. I think it's a possibility that she might actually be dead. Penacony is a very complicated place. It has many layers to it, and essentially, the family have monopolized the entire landscape of the dream world. Penacony started out as a IPC planet for prisoners, but through the Memoria, this dreamlike essence, the planet kind of transformed into one coherent, conjoint dream amongst all the prisoners. And all of the prisoners desired freedom. And after the Stellaron incident they had long ago, this attracted the Eon of Harmony, Zype, who felt that desire from the prisoners and their conjoint dream of freedom. This was the official moment that the IPC lost full control over Penacony, and it is clear that they want it back. Once the Eon of Harmony actually descended and Penacony was freed from the IPC and they had their own conjoint dream world, over time, descendants from these prisoners would form 5 great houses or families or lineages. They would be the Oak family, where Sunday's from, the Nightingale family, the Iris family, the Bloodhound family that Gallagher is allegedly from, and the Alfalfa family. And the whole point of the dreamscape in Penacony should be obvious: to live in harmony, to unite the residents of all of the world, to receive Zype's blessing, and rejoice in their eon's generosity and believe that the universe will eventually become a single harmonious entity. It makes sense that the prisoners over a long period of time through their descendants would form these families, and officials to actually handle the nation's affairs officially. I feel like in our own real world, you sort of need somebody to be managing what's going on, taking control, but it seems that the family has monopolized the dreamscape, and Penacony as a whole, which has not only caught the attention of the IPC now, and they're intervening, because if we know that the Watchmaker's legacy is a hidden layer underneath the dreamscape that Aventurine was attempting to access and needing Acheron to make this happen, cutting through the dreamscape, this also seems further confirmed by Gallagher and Sunday's scene at the end of 2.1. The death meme killing people in the dreamscape is what enables them to pass into the locked subconscious underscape of the real dreamscape, presumably where the Watchmaker's legacy is really hidden. I honestly think this might have been set up from the very beginning in 2.0, chasing this legacy of the Watchmaker, which has led to these elaborate plans by the group behind the death meme and by the IPC to break through the dreamscape. Most people just assume the dreamscape was the legacy, but we've been repeatedly reminded that the family has tightened up the control of the dreamscape, closed off sections of it, and carefully construed the simulation, so the legacy wouldn't be reachable by random seekers. And then we have a character that everyone's sleeping on in 2.1, Sparkle, who from the very beginning said that she wants to reveal the true agenda and reveal the truth of the dreamscape, revealing the lie beneath the family's facade. I mean, the scene where she offers to help Sunday has obviously got to mean something. It was at the very end of the quest. And perhaps Sunday confronting Gallagher when he fully knows he's the villain at this point at the end of the story, but decides to confront him anyway, knowing full well the consequences. Maybe he was deliberately trying to enter the real dreamscape, the meme, and Sparkle probably helping him to see this. Maybe Gallagher is being played for a fool to find an opportunity to meet Gallagher one-on-one when he already knew the truth of Gallagher. So we can assume that he had time to prepare for this encounter and knowing full well what could possibly come from it. I almost wouldn't even be surprised at this point if most of the family members themselves are in the dark on this. But that is just my speculation. I definitely think Sparkle helped him deduce that, figure out that Gallagher was the one behind this, but whether he knew he was actually going to die at this point or get impaled like that, I don't know. As for Gallagher, I don't think he's literally 13. I think he's just had the alias of Gallagher for 13 years or 13 something. Like whoever or whatever he is that's taken the shape of different family members and infiltrated the family has been doing this for 13 years. We know that Hoyoverse, with all their games, they like to misguide you and sort of throw you off the trail or trick you. And of course this is left out in the English version, but it is all but confirmed that he is a Pathstrider, the Eon Mythos, the Enigmata. Because Gallagher already exposed the truth to the Astral Express. He said the Watchmaker is the most shameful stain in the history of Penacony, and is the cause of all anomalies of the dreamscape in that quest. He also reveals that Watchmaker is Mikhail, who in turn, if you Google Mikhail, it gives you Misha. So Misha is most likely either the deceased memory of the Watchmaker or the Watchmaker trapped underneath where everyone's trying to go. The Watchmaker has many children, one of which is Gallagher, who claimed that his age was 13. I don't really know what this 13 means, but that is what he literally says. They say the Watchmaker is allegedly dead, but is he really? Or is he trapped in a place where no one can find him? And it said that somebody else inherited the title of Watchmaker, was this Gallagher, because it said that the new Watchmaker has been working against the family. Clearly, Gallagher's working against family. He infiltrated the family. We got this info back in 2.0, so now that we know that Gallagher was the one actually attacking people, it makes sense that he might have inherited his father's legacy, his title, but doesn't seem to like his father very much. This also explains why when we got close to finding Mikhail and the truth in that quest with Firefly, this monster always appears to people who are about to figure out the truth. And even though you need to die to reach the truth, to reach the real Penacony underneath where maybe the real Watchmaker's been held captive or killed to find his legacy, but this monster seems to prevent that, do the exact opposite, which is why Firefly ultimately can't go now. It wasn't in the script as she says, but I think Sunday might have miscalculated this as well. If Gallagher truly thinks the Watchmaker is the most shameful stain in Penacony history, the Watchmaker is Mikhail, the Watchmaker has many children, one of which is Gallagher, and after Mikhail died, somebody else inherited that title of Watchmaker and has been working against the family. I honestly think it has to be obvious that it's Gallagher. He is the new Watchmaker and he's working against the family, and for whatever reason wants to prevent anybody from finding his father's legacy, the true Watchmaker, and being impaled by this beast does the opposite of what you want to do. And this beast and this nightmare monster prevents that. Anybody that gets close to it of discovering the truth finds himself met with this monster. All except Aventurine, who pulled it off. 2.2 should be a doozy, but this makes the most sense to me, going over all of the details we have so far. But again, this is just my thoughts on what we have. I am curious to see what you think in the comments. But I do hope this clears it up what's going on. It is a little bit hard to decipher and understand. They're not very clear about it, but thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe to get more content like this. I will be covering Acheron, her relation with Welt, their very interesting dialogue and Acheron's whole backstory. I want to break that all down. And as always, we will see you on the next one. Later.